Now, I will tell you this straight up. The number one question that I get asked in my Instagram direct message inbox all the time is something along the lines of, Casey, I lost a girl I was seeing, or Casey, the girl I was with pulled back from me. How do I get her back? I'm so heartbroken, blah, 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 blah. Help me, help me, help me. She don't like me anymore. Okay, instead of talking about that and getting her back, I thought today it would be very beneficial if we just address the root problem to begin with. So today what I'm going to be doing is breaking down specifically on my whiteboard the ways that you lose your girl, okay? The first couple key points are going to be in the short term when you're first seeing a girl. The later points are going to pertain more towards what she sees in the long-term future of you. Both of them are equally important, so watch the entire video so you don't make these mistakes. So when you do find that one girl that you actually like, or when you do come across the one girl that's super hot, that treats you really well, you don't mess up. Okay, let's prevent the problem first instead of trying to fix it after it already happens. Now, today's MBT Celeb Spotlight is from Ty. Okay, he says word for word, Casey, y'all know MBT is incredibly powerful when a guy who's in the middle of week 3 just lost his V card last night. If I can help a guy lose his V card within just 3 weeks, okay, which is 21 days or less, okay, there's no reason that MBT, masculine behavioral techniques, can't totally transform your dating life too. So once this video is over, go down below, register for the webinar that I put together for you. It's a free backstage pass to getting into the event that I created, a behind the scenes step-by-step footage to master MBT, masculine behavioral techniques. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut to the chase and just talk about the main ways that you will lose your girl. Okay, if you demonstrate these specific traits to a woman, you kill arousal, you kill desire, you look like a weak, needy beta male, and then in the end she leaves you, or she dumps you or cheats on you with somebody else who's not even higher value or higher status, just mainly knows how to make her feel like a woman. This is drastically important. Okay, now the very first way that majority of men lose their girl is by talking too much. And what we're going to do is look at this in reverse order. So we're going to start at the bottom first. Okay, here's what you have to know. A woman operates off of emotion. Therefore, here's what has to happen. The more you can get her in touch with her own natural femininity, the more you can get her in touch with her own natural arousal when she's around you, the more she's going to want to be by your side and not leave you. So what you have to know is silence. A man who uses silence, okay, plus her talking, instead of you talking, builds sexual tension. Sexual tension is extremely important because without it, it's almost impossible to demonstrate true, authentic confidence. And in just a second, I'm going to explain to you what true, authentic confidence is. Here are the mistakes that men make. What men will do is men will oftentimes ramble, and they're going to start to talk at her, okay, instead of talking to her, which means if you are going to converse with a woman, the tone of your voice has to be controlled, even a little bit slow. You have to make her obviously want to open up and give you that dialogue back. And what you have to do is you have to cut out the fluff talk. Okay, as soon as you start talking at her instead of to her, this is going to be a way to make her feel not very feminine in the interaction and want to start to leave you. And the reason being is because fluff talk is not only approval seeking, okay, because you're just making sure that you can fill the room with hot air so that way there's dialogue back so she still hopefully likes you. But what you're going to notice is this kills your masculine energy. The quickest way, I'll tell you this, the quickest way to start to adapt grounded, authentic, masculine confidence is to close your eyes and picture this. I want you to picture yourself that you're in your living room with your closest of family members. Could be mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever. The conversation is never at a forced pace where you feel as if you have to talk about something. There's moments of silence. The conversation flows naturally. There's ebbs and flows. And when it happens, it happens. The sooner you can get into that state and that energy of being 100% comfortable, no matter who you're around, not just women, no matter who you're around, that is the quickest way for a woman to look at a guy and go, wow, he is truly confident with just being himself, with who he is, his natural presence. The first way you will lose a woman is by talking too much. The second way that you'll consistently lose women who you're seeing is by trying to build comfort. Now, women view the word comfort far differently than the way a man views the word comfort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a text interaction that I gave to one of my closest friends, okay? And he was talking to me about, hey, there's this girl I really like, there's this girl I'm really interested in. How do I make sure she's comfortable to want to be intimate with me? Or how do I want to make sure she's comfortable on a date so she wants to come back to my place? And I told him right here, that is not how it works in a woman's brain. I'm going to read you word for word, verbatim, what I told him. And the reason being I told him this is because too much, okay, comfort kills all sexual tension. And the reason being is because now when you enter into the frame of being too comfortable, too nice, too pleasing, what will tend to happen is she's going to look at you as just a potential friend or put you in the category of not a man that she would want to have an intimate experience with. I'm going to read you this exact text. So since he's newer and inexperienced with dating, what I told him is I said, you need to wipe the word comfort out of your vocabulary for a short time being, and here's why. This is the exact text I said. I go, comfort to a woman equals man has capacity for strength and potential aggression. Therefore, she thinks in her brain, I'm now comfortable with him because I'm safe. Okay? This is completely opposite to how a man views comfort. I said comfort to a man equals we are neutral and chill together. But the problem with that is this kills attraction though, and it will make you friend zoned. I said this is why a woman is more comfortable, quote unquote, and notice how I have comfortable in quotation marks. This is why a woman is more comfortable mating with a trained UFC fighter beast. I go, it's a different language. Comfort in and of itself comes from pure strength and being grounded within your masculinity. The more that you become a masculine man in general, and I'm talking in every way, shape, or form, okay? I'm talking your body, I'm talking the way you speak, I'm talking your vocal tonality, right? I'm talking about how you deal with confrontation when you're around others, even how you make money and how you navigate the business world. The more you become a authentically masculine man in every way, shape, or form, the better your dating life will be without you even trying. Now, when it does come to true comfort, to making sure that a woman is comfortable within your presence and things aren't weird or things don't seem like they're too staged or set up, this comes from social calibration. Okay, and this is something where you can only deliver this in a way where you start making a move due to the fact that you have real life experience. So it's very, very hard to teach social calibration. What you have to remember about it is this comes from you operating in the field. This comes from you actually going on dates. This comes from you actually talking to women and communicating with them. This is a skill in and of itself. This is the idea of comfort. The second you go to what the typical man brain thinks of, oh, comfort means we're cool and chill together, it kills sexual tension, kills desire, and this is a way for her to not want to see you anymore. Okay, the third way that you will completely lose a girl, this is going to be my favorite one to talk about on all these bullet points, is living in sedation. Okay, when I talk about sedation, I'm talking any sort of sloth-like behavior. I'm talking video games, I'm talking watching TV, I'm talking fantasy football, I'm talking watching television, watching spectator sports, smoking, drinking, anything that makes you weak. And the reason being is because these things make you weak because it strips you of your masculinity. I have this in blue because it's very important right here, okay? I put this as a different color right here on the whiteboard because I need to emphasize this. A woman who is in your life must see you as a driving force or a driving impact at all times. And what I mean by a driving force is you're like a powerful man. Like her being around your presence, you're influential over her emotions. The way you speak is captivating. The way you operate day to day in life is with pure intent and you are driven. Okay? These are things that a masculine man has. Okay? Emotional engagement in fantasy in any way, shape, or form strips you of your natural God-given masculinity, and this will put you into sedation. So I'm going to give you some examples of stupid things that men do, and this is why if you... Like seriously, if you understand these concepts, do you understand how easy your dating life is? Like most men have no clue what they're doing with girls. If you understand even just a fraction of this stuff, you will separate yourself from the pack like 9 times out of 10. It will be literally that easy. Most guys, okay, things that they have emotional engagement in, that is fantasy. Think about that. Emotional engagement, what is that? They have an emotional investment, meaning they get happy, they get sad, they feel good, they feel bad, blah, 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 about these sorts of things. Things like spectator sports, if their Broncos won or not, that's good. That's a big enough driving factor in their life where their mood increases or decreases. Do you understand how laughable this is? A team that has no investment in you, that you're watching on pixels on a screen that's fake, that's enough to make a man's emotional engagement go haywire. It's fantasy land. He's living like a child. The next would be video games. There's men who will whip their controller across the room. There's men who will scream at the television. You look like a big baby. You look weak. Or things like politics. Pixels on a screen of people who are talking, and no matter what the laws, rules, or regulations are, guess what? You're sitting there working the same job with the same friends, with the same people, making the same income, doing the same damn thing. And this is what you're worried about for your own emotional investment. Living in fantasy land is the quickest way to you getting to sedation. Quickest way to you getting to sedation is the quickest way to you not being a masculine man. These things have no real impact in your life, yet you care. You care about them. She in no way, shape, or form is going to be able to probably articulate it in the way that I did in a neat format, but subconsciously she's looking at that guy going, nope, I do not want him anymore, and I don't even know why, but he just makes me feel off. I don't like him. That's the third way you will lose your girl. Okay, the last two I'm going to take a little bit slower. The fourth way you're going to lose your girl is by being easily manipulated on an emotional level. If a woman ever tests you, okay, if a woman plays games with you, if a woman tries to make you emotionally moved off center or start an argument out of thin air and you don't have the emotional maturity to handle it, or you don't have the emotional maturity to say we're not going to speak to each other that way, or you don't have the backbone to stand up for yourself and say, hey, we're not going to be arguing or talking about things in this manner and conduct ourselves like this. If you don't have that level of maturity, okay, you are going to destroy the attraction. Because she needs to be looking at you as a person who is not easily manipulated emotionally. If you are easily sad, or you're easily happy, okay, or you're easily frustrated, or easily anything to where you have emotional volatility, that's going to make you look like a big baby. These things are not good. You raising your voice and getting upset, you throwing temper tantrums, anything like that is going to make it look like you are easily manipulated by your emotions, and that is a man that she can't trust to actually have lead her. So, if you are creating problems by engaging in arguments, or you're creating problems by needing more communication or needing to see her, you become needy. She feels like she's dealing with like not even a man. She feels like she's dealing with a child. And this is not good. And you're going to see a lot of guys who become easily manipulated by women. And these are men that women will literally pick at these guys until they completely lose all self-control and they spaz out or they have a temper tantrum. This is not good. And this is the fourth way that you will lose a woman. The fifth way that you will lose a woman is if you are bringing zero masculine sexual energy, and specifically in the bedroom. If you refuse to do this, okay, you are going to literally be like, you're like a shell of a man of what you could be, and she's going to be totally craving that wild fantasy land from other types of men. Here's what I mean by that. You need to learn how to properly seduce women, or the woman in your life. And this is especially true if you're in long-term relationships or even potentially married. Properly keeping a woman feminine and properly seducing her is going to be extremely important for the relationship cohesion, for her to feel satisfied in bed, for her to look up to you like a strong, stable, masculine man. These things are huge. Everything that goes into proper seduction and everything that goes into proper masculine sexual energy has to do with things like voice tone and the way you talk, how you're projecting yourself and how you're carrying yourself to her, eye contact, things like touch, okay, and how that makes her feel like a woman, leading, and especially in bed. Okay, these things are huge. When you lead in bed and you're expressing what you want, you're going to notice one specific thing happens with majority of women. Women get pleasure knowing that they can please you. And they watch that you're comfortable with expressing what pleases you. They watch that you're comfortable with expressing what you want in bed. They're comfortable with expressing the things you want to see out of her. Do you understand how feminine that makes her feel? This is the fifth way that you will lose your woman. If you do not demonstrate this, okay, she might put up with it for a week, 2 weeks, a month. Eventually, her arousal dynamic within her is going to start to get the best of her, and she's going to want to stray and find a man who can potentially get that side out of her. All of these are so important. If you stop making these mistakes, instead of trying to figure out how to get your girl back, you will realize that you no longer lose your girl, and that is 100% the spot you want to be in as a man. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.